Hey guys, I don't know if you knew it or not, but we actually do sell t-shirts here for the YouTube channel. Now, I know you guys may like being nude, but here in the real world, we like wearing clothes. And what better way can you do that? By buying one of our t-shirts. So go to teespring.com and pick any of the shirts that you see us wear on the show, and you can be like us, not nude. Hi guys, welcome to the Rule of Two, where the Star Wars news saga continues. I'm Terrence.
I'm Manny.
And guys, from the last time when we did our last show, we said that we were gonna do a mid-season review of Obiwan.
Yes, we did.
And the time has come. Maybe, hopefully, it's still mid-season, and it's not the end of the season by the time this episode actually airs. But this is our mid-season review, so now we're gonna talk about all the stuff that we're gonna mention is all gonna be between the first 3 episodes of the Obi-Wan TV series.
All right.
So far, because you hated Mandalorian, not Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett,
I wasn't alone on this.
We really need to figure out how you feel about the first 3 episodes so far of what they're giving you in the show.
All right. Well, first of all, I'm completely freeballing this. All right.
Okay. Yes, definitely. That's what
I'm
going to
freeball this, and I'm going to speak completely from the heart.
All right. Please do.
And to be honest with you, I love it.
Okay.
So far, this series is everything that I expected it to be. Okay. Is it completely, as far as fast paced and all that good stuff that we're used to for Star Wars? Mm-hmm. No, it is not.
It didn't need to be. It really did not.
But it is, it is a really great continuation after Revenge of the Sith.
Uh-huh.
And the best thing about it, it started off great with the recap. And episode 1 with a recap, and the recap is Revenge of the Sith. That is amazing. That's the way you start a series.
They should have gone back to keep saying gets in everything. That really would have started the whole heel turn right there.
But you see, you see Ewan McGregor here. You see Obi-Wan as a completely different man. Really. Yeah. Almost broken man.
Yeah. I mean, he feels like a failure at this point.
Right. And not even a shell of himself, basically.
Mm-hmm. He failed the Jedi cause. He failed his best friend. He failed Qui-Gon.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
Like he feels like a failure all the way around. And his last piece of duty that he had, his last commitment is to watching over Anakin's son.
Right. And he gets thrown for a curve here, though, and it's really good to see Jimmy Smith back. By the way,
oh yeah, that's great. It's like they're bringing everybody back.
Yeah, great continuity there, and Joel Edgerton also coming back as Uncle
Lars.
Lars, yeah, Uncle Owen.
Yeah, Owen Lars.
Owen Lars, yeah, there you go. But bringing him back, great continuity there, and the acting is I think is superb. I think Ewan McGregor is fantastic in this. But you see him in episode 1 this way.
Yes.
As broken man, trying to figure everything out, trying to keep a low profile as well, because the Jedis are being hunted still.
Right.
The Empires are still being hunted. Mm-hmm. Now, let's talk about the Inquisitors.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, I can't believe that's Han from Fast and Furious.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. He's not eating chips this time. But
no, he's out of the Inquisitors. He's the one that I find the most interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. Yeah. And I guess the lead, kind of like in the character design. Uh-huh. It's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
As far as what you're used to seeing in the comics and so forth.
In the comics and in the
TV
games
show. And the TV shows and all that. So I wasn't disappointed in that. I thought he deserved better. We'll get to that when we get to 3. But outside of that, it was great.
Okay.
I thought that it was.
We can go. You can keep going. You can tell me all the things that you do. It's like we don't have to take it episode by episode, dude. This is a mid-season review. We've seen all the episodes. We're not breaking down each. We're not gonna break down each episode.
Okay. He deserved better.
Okay.
He deserved better. I thought that his demise so early was just too. It was now. Granted, I understand that this is a 6 episode
series.
Whether they get to season 2, I don't know. But depending on how it ends, but I just thought that he had he did have a really good presence. I wanted to see more out of that.
So there was a thing in the actual, what was it, in Rebels, where he actually has a death scene in that too. So there's been some talk where, like, is he being brought back multiple times? Is he truly dead? Just like with from Boba Fett, the bounty hunter. I know.
Cad Bane?
Cad Bane. Was Cad Bane completely dead? Was Maul completely dead? Now, is our Grand Inquisitor completely dead? So we don't, I mean, we saw him get sabered through and they're like, replace him, but is it a possibility that he may come back? But like I said, 'cause he died in Rebels too, so like, will they possibly bring him back? So, I mean, it's never in stone with Star Wars.
Right, and very true. But from him, you know, like I said, I wanted more. Now, okay, Reva.
Except for Obi-Wan, he's dead.
Okay, so Reva.
Oh, so that's all the things that you liked about it. You liked the Inquisitors, you liked the Obi-Wan Star. You jumping already? Oh, Reva is one of the things that you like.
Well, hold on.
Okay, all right. I thought we were saving it.
There's a lot of things there's a lot of flack. Are we going goods and bads? Is that
no? I just thought you wanted to get all the things that you did like about it before we started touching on the more of the things about like where people find problems at.
Okay.
And it is kind of a goods and bad thing, but I thought maybe let's get.
You know what? I'll go with you on that.
Okay.
All right. So I like that. Let's talk about Vader.
Okay.
Man.
No, one of the greatest things about the show is that when they brought Vader in, and you could really feel his yeah, I feel the conflict within you. It's like, I could see where like his motivations and where he's at this point in his life.
Right, but I'm talking about the intro. I'm talking about him, about Obi-Wan saying his name, and then the camera going to the back to tank, and it's Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
And his eyes are yellow.
Yeah.
And he's got the breathing going.
I like we're talking about.
It was a great freaking ending, man.
I liked when he was because now it's on his mind when they're walking, when they're trying to make it to the city or to the station, and they're walking, and in the distance he sees Hayden Christensen in his robe, and he turns around and looks at him, and it's like, dude, that's how we use Hayden Christensen in this. It's like, I don't need him walking around in a suit. I don't need him doing a James Earl Jones and voice impersonation. I need flashbacks. I need thoughts of Obi-Wan and remembering who he was. So that's how I need Hayden Christensen used, and I'm glad that they used it that way. Well, in the back to tank,
he is in the suit.
Yeah, but it's like he ain't doing all the physical stuff for the most part.
We don't know.
I mean, we don't
know. But anyway, so bringing him back in that sense, it was awesome.
Yeah.
That intro was great. I'm glad that they did not introduce him in the first episode. I like that they waited for the second one.
No, because it's more impactful, because it's like let's find out what Obi-Wan's doing, how he's living his life. We're gonna get to some things that I don't like, but yeah, I love that. Vader was probably the biggest thing, and like it was for me. It helped take a lot of the bad taste I had of the ending of episode 2. Because I had I was like, oof, maybe I'm not gonna like this series if this is where this is going. But it kind of like the beginning, episode 1, amazing. Episode 2, half of it was good, the other half was not good. Episode 3, I'm like, thank you for giving me this, because this was my Mandalorian showing up in episode 4 of the Book of Boba Fett, putting shit right. That's where I was with the show at the end of episode 2, and I was like, thank you for setting this show right, and now I feel better about it.
So another thing that I liked about it was them were the writers turning it around and making it or making him making Obi-Wan understand that Anakin had 2 kids, not just one.
Yeah.
And you can't just focus on Luke.
Yeah.
You do have Leia. Right. Even though, you know, she is in royalty, royal hands.
Because he kind of feels like, hey, look, this is the best position that she can be in.
She's taken care of. I don't have to. But when there's trouble ahead,
it's like, I still need to.
You have to. Yeah, you still have to.
He tried to get out of that.
He did. He did.
He definitely tried to get out of it.
I don't blame him because of what it's gonna take to succeed, knowing that you have these Inquisitors after you too, and the fact that
his this diminished level of him, and I was like,
yeah,
I thought
exactly.
that was because at first I'm like, why is he diminished? I was like, I don't feel like it's that far off, but I would think just like any martial art,
that if you're not constantly practicing it, then your skill level would diminish as well. And when he's kind of shutting himself off from the force to where like he isn't found, to where like I don't give off anything to where like somebody may sense me or pick me up, I can see why he wouldn't be like, he would think of himself as less like, I'm getting old, I haven't practiced any of this stuff before, I'm not who I was before.
Right.
So I love them explaining that one, so that way now I can look at him as a regular person as opposed to like, oh well, you know, Obi-Wan could take these guys out in a second, why is he not doing this?
And so he gets his, he chooses. He goes and he looks for the lightsabers, and it's funny how he has his and Anakin's.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that's interesting about that,
pick up his arm too.
That's messed up.
It's like, hold on, yeah.
Another
Take that.
another that's funny. Another thing is how ironic that he's in the sands of Tatooine, digging these lightsabers out.
Which is the exact same thing he told the other Jedi. He was like, go bury him in the middle of the sand and forget about him.
But that's what Rey does.
That's true, right? She does.
Yeah, that's what Rey does. So that's what makes it so.
Yeah, it's a lot of connecting points there. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. But anyway, so gets it out. Now he's not really a Jedi, but he's on this mission, but I really like that it's that it got him away from Luke and got him with Leia.
Right.
Which everybody is talking about, how come she didn't remember him?
Yeah, that was a thing for me, but they don't really talk about his name in specifics. And in the original series, she didn't share any screen time with him.
Well, true. She did not. Well, no, you're right. She did not, because he died when they rescued her.
When they rescued her, he had just died.
But they're talking
shared
about
no screen time.
They're talking about the message that she leaves in R2. Many years you served my father in the Clone Wars, and that. She's not mentioning this.
It's like, you also saved my life too.
Yeah, exactly. But also, maybe she said it that way because she don't know who's
also listening.
Who's also listening?
Okay.
So that makes sense. I had to make sense out of that. I know what people are saying.
Sometimes we do a lot of explaining for Star Wars when they have plot holes.
Exactly. So, but that whole episode was great. Him getting his mojo back, baby, and saving her life. That was cool.
Yes.
So you could have done without the rooftop scene. We'll get to that in a minute.
Some things I could have done without, and all of it took place in episode 2.
So now let's go to the number one thing. Obviously, we just talked about Vader. But let's talk about Hayden Christensen's performance combined with James Earl Jones' performance.
Oh, yeah.
He is the voice.
Yeah.
Putting those two together and going through that village and his confrontation with Obi-Wan Kenobi, the fight, the dragging through the fire, you will feel my suffering. All this, everything about that whole freaking episode from when Vader gets there is flat out perfection. Yeah. Sequel
Best
trilogy.
episode of the series so far.
Sequel trilogy, Solo, Book of Boba Fett, all of those combined, that episode,
it's a great episode.
Beats all of that.
It's a great
completely
episode.
Beats
because
all of that.
There was so much emotion in Vader because like normally he's just kind of this stone person. He's just like, yeah, I mean, he has dialogue and he talks to you. And in the moments with Luke where he really, like, his shift between the light and dark side, it's like he has emotion then. But for the most part, they've always described or shown Vader to be just like, I'm just here to carry out a purpose, right? And to be ruthless. This is like, you really got to understand it. It's like, me and you have a relationship. And I feel I need to get my revenge or at least to give you what you gave me. Yeah. And it's like, you really felt it because in Obi-Wan's diminished state, Vader would have just easily just took care of him, right? He easily just took care of him, but he was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna torture you.
Death would be too easy.
Yeah, I'm gonna torture you so you could experience everything that I felt when you did this to me. And it's like, and I totally got it. I even got to, because I was like, why is he watching him for the flame get away? And it's like, nah, because he knows he's gonna get him again. And he's just, I'm gonna give you a little bit of hope before I catch you again and then continue my torture of you.
How about that cinematography? How about those shots of the fire in his eyes?
Yeah,
the fire
I'm surprised that he stood next to the fire with no problem. I figured, I was like, the fire is not my best friend at this point. I know I live on Mustafar, and it's like hot lava everywhere.
I'm gonna build a castle on it.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking about that in my head right now.
Hot lava.
thinking about that in my head. But it's like, but he just stood next to those flames and he watched them. And when you saw the flames in his eyes, you could feel the rage that he had for Obi-Wan.
Exactly. And that is probably and I tweeted this when I was doing our a mini review there on Twitter. That is the best Vader depiction in film that I have ever seen, and that trumps the Vader scene in Rogue One. I mean, it does. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, still GOAT scene. Yeah. But this scene completely. I mean, he's walking through the village just killing people, snapping necks.
Yeah, because he was like, I understand Jedi. And it was funny that Christopher Waltz scene when the first episode, when the Grand Inquisitor comes up and he was like understanding the nature of a Jedi, it's like they can't help themselves. And it's like they will reveal themselves because it's in their nature. They feel like they're good people, so they have to do good things. So when he says that, and then the Jedi reveals itself when Reva throws the knife and the Jedi reveals himself, Vader understands the same thing too. I wonder if they got that whole thought process from Vader, and he was like, I'm gonna walk through, I don't have to look for you. I'm just gonna punish people until you reveal yourself. And that's like, damn, that is a serious damn scene where like he is like, nah, are you still not out here? Next one. You're gonna come out eventually.
Yeah,
and I was like, God, that was such a good scene.
And just bodies, leaving bodies behind.
Don't care. My goal is to punish, is to get to and torture
Their
Obi-Wan.
deaths are on your hands.
Yeah, exactly. You could have come out a long time ago and saved their lives.
Right. Fight scene was great.
Yeah.
He looked completely overpowered.
Oh, yeah.
Obi-Wan did.
Like I said, he could have finished him at the minute he saw him, he could have just definitely, especially if we're looking at Rogue One Vader. And it's like when the minute he sees him, knowing that Obi-Wan isn't Obi-Wan, 5 seconds, we're done.
And that's not even Rogue One Vader yet.
Yeah.
It's just him starting. And like you said, it's perfectly what you said. It's just the rage of everything that he has, because he's still in that back to tank. He's still feeling all that pain. And Vader is truly never comfortable in his suit with these metal arms.
Right.
He's truly never comfortable, which them putting them together was fantastic. Yeah. That was an amazing scene. But yeah, so that's pretty much
way better than episode 3 when they were putting them together.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, that's what that was one of the best things.
I mean,
if not the best thing. So
you touched on a lot of the great points that happened in the first half of this series. I still take some as much as excited as I am about the series so far, and as many good things that I have to say about the series, there are some things that really kind of like it left me on the fence. And if episode 3 had not come, then I might have been like looking the way you looked at Book of Boba Fett, because my issues is that do I really want to see the Last of Us Obi-Wan edition with him and Leia? I kind of want to see them wrap this up. One, because I'm getting annoyed by her character. Because I thought it was cool that they referenced her at the very beginning. I thought that moment she had with her quasi-cousin, I thought that was a great moment for her as a character. I liked the little backstory, her life on Alderaan, and I liked how she dealt with, like, that's how it's showing you, it's like, oh, you're going to be great in the Senate because this is the type of person you are. And it's like, I love that made sense. And I love the fact that, you said he didn't forget that Luke has a sister. And it's like, if she's in trouble, I have to do this regardless if I want to do it or not. I love that, but I felt like getting her home really should have been done by episode 2. Or at the beginning of when he sent her off, I would have loved that she'd just got away and got back to.
So right now it's Logan.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Or The Last of Us. And it was like, I really wish they would have just tied that up and be done with it.
Okay.
Because I really want it to be more about Obi-Wan and Vader at this point. I don't want him still dragging this child around.
think that...
And her being his point. And it's like, I want him to say like, hey, I have to tie up this loose end with Vader, or figure out how to separate myself from Vader so far enough that he no longer looks for me. I don't really want it to be about Leia being held captured, and I was like, that's because then it really makes you think, well, damn it, why does she don't sound more personal to him when she's reaching out for him? Or why isn't she visiting him? If he'd saved my life 15 times, I think I would go visit Obi-Wan and like, hey man, how you doing? And it's like, remember that day you saved me when I was falling off that building? Remember that day when Reva caught me and you rescued me from there? Remember that day when Vader had me? It's like, remember all the stuff you did for me? And I don't even visit you on Tatooine.
Remember that day when I fell off the building and you caught me and saved my life when you caught me with the Force?
Yeah, and it's like, and I don't visit you not once. I don't visit you once.
Well, I'm pretty sure now. Obviously, this is this is mid-season.
Yeah.
I mean, for us anyway. As far as the episodes that we've 4 has not come out as of this recording. 4 has not come out yet. It comes out tomorrow as of this recording. So there possibly are going to be some loose ends. This mission might be over tomorrow.
Right.
Okay. I mean, as far as episode 4, the mission might be over then. Certain closures that we're going to need could be 5 and 6. We do not know. Does it leave anything open for season 2? We don't know that either. But you're right. I agree with you 100% on that, because you want to see a little bit more about how now that he knows.
That Vader's out there. It's like,
how is he
this
gonna...
whole quest to get her home safe? Let's get her home safe already.
Yeah.
Stick her on the board with Cassian Andor and send her back to Alderaan. I mean, we got to tie into that series that's coming up. We haven't even talked about that yet. But let's get her on the ship with him, and let's get her back to Alderaan, and let's be done with that. The least amount of contact that she has with Obi-Wan makes me feel better about the fact that she has nothing to do with him in that time gap.
Right.
All right. So, and plus, it gives us more room to really explore this whole back and forth with Vader and really kind of build up episode 4 for us. That was my problem with episode 2 with her. Then they felt like, to me, it felt like there was so much filler in episode 2 that they wrote a parkour scene for Reva that was so unnecessary. I like the fact that she's like, I don't know where he's at. I have bounty hunters. By the way, what's his name? Did a great job pretending to be a Jedi. I love him in that scene.
Yes,
it was a great thing. You know, it was,
great comic relief.
Oh God, it was so perfectly done, and it was like amazing. I watched that episode twice just for that, just to see him again.
Yeah, he was awesome.
But the parkour scene felt like so much filler. I liked her standing on the rooftop, waiting to see him do something with all the bounty hunters chasing after him, so I could figure out where he's at, because it's a big city. Even though it's a whole planet to be dealt with, but obviously knowing that he's somewhere in the city, it's like something's gonna go off with the bounty hunters, and then I'm gonna go take care of that. But then I had to watch 5 minutes of her jumping from rooftop to rooftop, you know, doing special flips and kicks just to get over things. When damn it, you could just be like, oh, he's over there, and then you could have cut to her getting there. I didn't need to see all that extra stuff. I felt like they wrote too short of an episode, and they were trying to fill out time. And if you're gonna give me a parkour scene, give me a better parkour scene than that. It was so much stuff that was just so unnecessary. It was like, oh look, there's an AC. Hold on, let me roll on top of that. And it was like, oh, there's a bar right here. Let me do a jump flip over that. Walk around it. Walk around it. It's like, you want to impress me? Use the Force and fly, motherfucker. Damn, man. I don't need to see this dumb shit. It was dumb, and I watched it a second time. I just fast forwarded that scene because it was stupid. It was so stupid. Okay. Now let's get to the elephant in the room. Reva.
Right. Well, shit, you just gave it to me.
No, that was my problem with Reva. So let's get to the elephant in the room. So obviously there has been a lot of negative things that come up about
Backlash,
her, about the actress that plays her and the character itself.
Okay.
I have no problem with the actress that plays her. We all understand that Star Wars has many ethnicities, alien and or humanoid, right? And they ain't all white. So for the people who are upset the fact that this main character is black, you're fucking dumb. And this is the first. I thought we got past this with Finn. We got past this.
I thought we got past this with Lando,
right? And it's like, oh, we can only have one black person in the Star Wars universe, and he's got to have a Jerry curl or a perm. And it's like, that's not how worlds work or species work. There's gonna be different types of people. So you're stupid for anybody that's out there that's saying that like she shouldn't be black, or they're upset because she's black and she's a main character. Now, with that being said, I'm not on board 100% with Reva the character, because I loved her her motivations in episode 1.
She's ambitious.
She was vicious and ambitious, and like I want to be done with this. I'm above this. This is beneath me hunting these low-level Jedis. I want the big fish. I want to go after who Vader wants us to be after, who he really wants. I want to do that because I want to up my status. I don't want to be the third sister anymore. I want to be the Grand Inquisitor. I love that. And I loved how ruthless she was being with, like, oh, you're trying to figure out what your Christoph Waltz scene from Inglourious Basterds. Look, I'm going to throw a knife. The Jedi's going to stop it, or this person's going to die, right? Or when she's with Owen Lars and she was like, I know you know where he's at. What if I kill you and your family? I bet you he'd show himself then. I love that. But then a lot of her dialogue scenes, dude, she overacts. She overacts. She's trying to sound like angry and intense, and it goes from I'm mellow to angry and intense out of nowhere, and it seems so fucking forced. And it's like, I think maybe the director should have told her, and it's like, hey, you're transitioning between these two doesn't seem realistic. It went because she went when she was against the second brother, when he had her one, she seems underpowered. It's like, because if he did that to her, it was like nothing to him, and it's like I don't even see you as a threat to him outside of the fact that Vader may make you Grand Inquisitor, but then I feel like he could still kill you if he wanted to. She seemed so weak and powerless, but then she wanted to still hold authority because I talked to Vader, and so I was losing it on some of that. I'm hoping this next half that some of the dialogue gets better with her character. I don't want to 100% put that on the actress. Maybe it's just how it's written. Maybe the director didn't give her enough like direction as far as how he wanted those lines to be kind of like said, or how the flow of it to be. But like sometimes she seems like she's forcing anger that it's not showing in her. And that's where I find problems with the Reva. So yeah, for the people who have some problem with the character Reva, I like the character Reva. I just don't like some of the dialogue scenes with her.
Some of the delivery.
Yeah, some of the delivery that she's giving.
Right.
I didn't like some of the delivery that Hayden Christensen gave with like the sand kissing everywhere. It's like Obi-Wan's holding me back. Like, look, there's things that I don't like, but that doesn't mean that I'm totally ready to ditch the character. I just hope it gets better.
Okay. There was not much that I did not like. Maybe some pacing issues here and there as far as it being too slow at times. But I get it. I understand why. It is a slow build. And so I accept it, and that's fine. A lot of the scenes that she had, yeah, there were. Some of those they did seem forced a little bit. But overall, I thought the friction between her and the Grand Inquisitor, it was kind of bothering me a little bit. It was like, it was annoying already. Like,
I mean, I know they look down on her, but it's like she wasn't the 9th sister. She was the 3rd sister.
Yeah.
I'm like, she still has status. And I was like, you're treating her like she just showed up day one.
And again, and him being killed off so freaking early.
You figured that there would have been more to that.
Yeah, exactly. And
but the show isn't about him.
Even a bigger fight within, like even a bigger fight between them two. Like, I mean, he like completely.
Maybe if she killed the second brother, that would have made more sense than to kill the Grand Inquisitor.
Right.
Or maybe had Vader kill the Grand Inquisitor for saying, "Hey, you're failing me. 3rd sister, you're now in control." Kind of like he did with Admiral Piet.
Right. Right. So, those are the main things that
Star Wars, baby. Yeah, I pulled that one out, Admiral Piet.
That was the main. Yeah, and you always forget names.
Yeah.
But those were some of the things that I did not like about it. Outside of that, this is probably the best Disney series, Star Wars Disney series that they have put out. Second to Mandalorian, obviously.
Second to Mandalorian. I was about to say. Let's let it get through the whole season.
Second best series. So I'm really pleased with that. I think that they heard a lot about the gripes with Book of Boba Fett, because there's no saving this.
Yeah,
there's no saving this. And damn it, Tam don't have his mask on again. He's playing a clone and he has his helmet off again.
That was a great callback. It's like, because we talked about that early on when he was being cast. It was like, is he going to be cast as Boba Fett, or is he just going to be cast as like an aging clone trooper? And I was like, well, he could play both. And then it didn't seem like they were ever going to touch base on that again. And then they showed him. And it was like, oh, cool. Tamara Morrison actually gets to play the clone trooper. I hope that's not the end of it. I hope I get to see something. Give me Rex already. Damn it. Give me Rex.
Without his helmet again.
I mean, we got to know his face.
Anyway,
we got to know it's him.
Anyway, but yeah, so far, like I said, second best series, way steps above Book of Boba Fett, with the exception of the Mandalorian episodes, Luke Skywalker episodes. And then,
so you think they're gonna Book of Boba Fett this episode 4, Mandalorian Chosen?
Oh God, I hope not. But you look at it too, and that's
he'd be too young right now. He'd be a foundling right now.
Here's what I love about it too. Book of Boba Fett relied on nostalgia to the original trilogy. This one revolves around nostalgia in the prequel trilogy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So there's a lot of callbacks and stuff for the prequel trilogy.
Definitely.
And that's one of the things that I liked about it a lot.
I mean, they're making this series will go a long way for making people love the prequel trilogy again.
Yeah,
it was going to go a long way because it's going to what they do here is gonna make everything that happened that we may liked or did not like in the original series, in the prequel trilogy, we're gonna now like it and understand it better. So we're all the things where like we nitpicked on it, we're gonna give a pass. It's like, 'cause when we get to Obi-Wan, it's all gonna make sense.
Right.
When we get to Obi-Wan, it's all gonna make sense. Do you want to talk about what we expect for the next half of this series?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right, so
What do you expect from it? Well,
go
ahead. What do you expect from it?
I mean, obviously, I feel like the last few episodes is really going to be a lot of the back and forth between Vader and Obi-Wan. I can't see them playing it out.
There should be another fight where he's more prepared.
I can't see them playing this out in one more episode. Like I said, I'm hoping Leia gets dropped off on Alderaan in episode 4 and early in episode 4.
You want any more screen time for Luke?
Not necessary. If they're going to do more seasons, we can get back to Luke later. Okay. I feel like we can see Luke again at the end of episode 6. Like, hey, I'm back. What's going on with Luke? Because Luke has a happy childhood, basically, on Tatooine. He didn't have any problems because Owen made sure of that. It was like, I'm not letting you go anywhere. And it's like, unless we're going to talk about him showing up at Tashi Station or something. Star Wars, baby. Didn't think I'd call that one back either. So, but it's like, I don't expect, that's why I understand why they did the Leia thing, because Luke had a boring life. That's why he wanted to get off planet. So everything that happens with Obi-Wan has to happen with Luke in the very background. Luke can't be aware of any of this stuff unless he's going to pass by Obi-Wan and be like, oh yeah, hey, and it's like, I'm buying this droid or something like that.
Well, eventually they do meet.
Yeah, eventually when he's like closer to, what is it, like 16 when they meet or something like that?
Well, he's 19 in New Hope.
Okay, he's 19 there. So, but I'm expecting them to do a season 2 or maybe a season 3 because we have so many things, there's so many more years left. This isn't going to take, this last 3 episodes ain't going to take place over 10 years. Or we're going to say like it ends and then for the next 9 years, nothing happened. So I'm assuming that going forward, we're going to see like Crimson Dawn and we may see Darth Maul and we may see a bunch of other things that we've all hinted to we wanted to see with Obi-Wan that may take place over the next couple of seasons.
Okay.
But the rest of this season, obviously, I expect the next few episodes to really deal with Reva chasing down Obi-Wan and her trying to get in the good graces of Vader, and I'm hoping for one more meeting with him and Vader. Though, if he did not meet him again, I think that's fine because we all understand that he's going to meet him in A New Hope.
Well, they do say that they got one more fight.
Okay,
they do have one more fight in them, and I hope that it's Obi-Wan that gets Reva and not Vader. I want there to be a fight with him and Reva.
I'm sure that's what's going to happen.
As far as my expectations, it's basically the same. But there is something that I would like to see, and that is because I'm talking about the callbacks.
Are we going to get a Qui-Gon?
I was going to get there. That's where I was going to get there. We had the callbacks, like I said, for the prequels. Well, Qui-Gon is a big part of that. Mm-hmm. So I would love to see a Liam Neeson
or maybe a
cameo.
Yoda cameo.
A Yoda or Palpatine. I would not mind seeing Ian McDiarmid one more time, or not even one more time, but just as because he's alive, he's in the early prime.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we get a scene where Palpatine calls him off. He's like, we got more important things to do with this Death Star. I need you to get them on track. So he calls him off, so that way he can't deal with Obi-Wan anymore because he has to go to the Death Star. Yeah, it's like I'm gonna see you in about 10 years.
Ooh, I see you, boy.
I'm coming back to this.
I'll probably fight like shit, but that's all right.
I need you to help with this Death Star thing. So I think he gets called away, and that's what breaks off the hunt for Obi-Wan. But then I think that transitions him into dealing with the underworld on Tatooine, dealing with maybe, like I said, I'm hoping we revisit Maul at some point. Obviously not in this season.
It was announced that, not announced, but it is rumored that Solo will be back as a series. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how if Emilia Clarke comes back in this.
If they bring Solo back as a series, Maul's gonna show up over there. I'd prefer he shows up in Obi-Wan. And I know Obi-Wan isn't the one that ultimately kills him, but I was like, I would like to see them cross paths again one more time. One more time. And it's like, because I would like him to see like, hey, yeah, you beat me, but you didn't kill me.
Right. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, tell us what you think about the Obi-Wan Kenobi. Did it meet your expectations? Are you disappointed in certain things? Let us know in the comments below. Terrence, take us home.
All right, so yeah, I mean that's all we got to do. Make sure you subscribe. Since you're leaving comments, make sure you subscribe, as well as click the notification button so that way you're aware of all the other videos. And we're gonna be doing this a lot more because we still have the rest of Obi-Wan, and we'll be transitioning to Andor.
That's right.
So we'll be talking about that soon once we get through with Obi-Wan series. Then we also got Mandalorian come up. So we're going to be on a constant Rule of 2 train going over here. And speaking of Rule of 2, make sure you get your Rule of 2 shirt. I got a couple of these designs. I got this one, and then I got the Rule of 2 with the OG Palpatine and Vader. So make sure you get one from either Teespring or Amazon. And the link will be down below. And if you just want to give us money, because Lord knows we need it, make sure you go to Patreon. Go to patreon.com/thegoods and donate from $1 on up. Anything helps because we got a lot of things in the pipeline. We're going to start doing some things outside of the studio that we need money for.
That's right. For Aspen, Art, and Carla, wherever they're at, I'm Manny.
I'm Terrence.
May the force be with you.
Always.
With you.
Wait, guys, are you still here? I'm glad you're still here. All right, so if you look down, I mean, it's somewhere over here. Look down. We actually have a Patreon. So if you guys watch the show and you really like what we want to do and you want to help support the show and you want to help me get an editor so I can get to sleep at night because I'm really tired and you guys see all my mistakes in the episodes. So please go to patreon.com/thegoods. Give us a penny, give us a nickel, give us $1.
Just don't give us the finger.
Don't do that. But make sure you do donate something because we do have some giveaways. There's posters, there's t-shirts, there's...
I'll sign something for you.
Exactly. So take a look, guys, and help us out. We appreciate it.